Well, shout out Patriot J, Benny Johnson, Big Bongino, Alex Jones. Free my dogs and lock up, the radical left's gone crazy. I don't bail, I won't see inside a cell. Shout out Thugger, free my slime, slat, YSL. They tryna lock me up, but I'm plugged in ATL. Got homies doing life in jail, they living in hell. These DAs acting silly, my mugshot is worth a billy. So some merchant made a milli, shot McMillie out in Philly. Shot the baby, shot the Sosa, Benny Butcher. Them my rollers called me racist, but these rappers riding with me, them my soldiers. Mega, I am not who they are after. I'm just in the way they want to get to you, but I won't let them. Cold-hearted, no, I'm artist, getting back to where I started. I don't need to do the race, I'ma beat them Rico charges. And if I go to prison, you can't do me like the Clintons. I'll be laid up, eating steak with Secret Service, chilling, screaming, Orange Man bad, the whole world mad. Thug life, shout out all of my MAGA base shads. Coming for the deep state, I will stop the New World Order. But before that, I'll finish walls at the border. YSL, // shout out Thugger. Finny got nothing on us.
Burn live, 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 burn live. What's up, y'all? What's up? Marijuanically keeping y'all connected, hashtagging these red eye, changing the viewers eye red, keeping underage smoking off social media. Killing myself for your entertainment, sitting here with friends and family, starting a cannabisation. Lord, Trump got a mug shot. Trump got a rap song, a Rico song. What else do you want? What else do you want from him? What else do we want from Donald J. Trump to say that he can't do what he can't do, what he can't do when he can do it? I know that didn't make no sense, ladies and gentlemen. Hot damn it, Jim, damn it. Y'all, what's up, man? I am happy and confused at the same time with everything that's going on. Y'all know what this is. This is a podcast we're supposed to hear. We talking about marijuana and weed, which we are. I got some cannabis news. I am changing my whole perspective and how I'm going to do my shows. I'm always going to make sure in the first 15 to 20 minutes, besides the intro, that we do talk about cannabis news and reports and things that are going on. By me saying that, what good strand, what good weed are you guys smoking on today? I appreciate y'all smoking on good weed. I appreciate all the things that y'all that has come upon, especially the weed, y'all. If I don't think we were smoking good weed, y'all, I think we would really be stressed out with things that are going on with the actual just everything that we gotta deal with just the news, politicians, things not going our way, high inflation. Like, like every time that we look at something, it is getting a little, a little scarce, a little out of control. We wish things are become better and easier and more profound. So we're gonna start this out. Yeah, this is how we're gonna start out, y'all. We're gonna start out. I always want to start off with some real, actual news, and I feel like that's the best way for me to go to present this to you guys is to actually bring y'all some actual, real news. Especially, like I said, this is marijuana channel. I gotta bring my marijuana audience back. I gotta show y'all that I am here in support and stuff like that. I do apologize for those who you're like, bro, you went so far away from marijuana that we thought you would never come back. So this is me coming back. This is us getting back to our roots. But this is just me getting further to the news, but marijuana, which I always wanted to do. I got sidetracked. So this is us getting into it, y'all.
We've had 9 meetings where marijuana has been on the agenda, so I'm happy we got it passed and moved on. I've had a number of people reach out to me already.
A nearly unanimous vote by City Council means a new industry can start growing in Charlotte. Good evening, I'm Ann Emmerich.
And I'm David Andrews. It's the first city in Eaton County to make room for the marijuana industry. Now, Charlotte city officials say it won't be long before pot shops start popping up. News 10's Riley Connell is in the newsroom to tell us what this impact could be. Riley?
Hi, Ann and David. As Charlotte prepares to open up applications for dispensary licensing, city officials and local pot sellers tell me what it means for them.
It's an industry that's been booming in Michigan since becoming legal in 2018. Now, Charlotte City Council says it's ready to keep up with the times and rake in revenue.
15% of it is split between municipalities that have a license in their community, and then 15% is split between counties that have at least one dispensary license in their community.
So this is how they're gonna split up dispensaries out there in the county. Now, I have no problem with this. I think this is a very good how they're actually spreading it out equally to make sure every municipality gets some type of rule, law, and equity put in. Like I explained to a lot of people yesterday, which I don't think people really paid attention to the show, or I ain't get to bring this up until it got deeper into the show, is marijuana cool, all right? I appreciate it. I'm smoking right now with you guys. Actually, I'm smoking on some roaches. I haven't actually went shopping to go get me new weed. But this is my thing, and this is what I'm bringing up to a lot of people who don't understand what the future may hold. I'm looking 10 years, 15 years into the future. What the problem is going to happen, and that's my weed behind them, is the fact of marijuana growth, marijuana dispensary. But when you got everybody in the homes growing weed, you got everybody in the homes growing weed. In the next 10 years, and I've said 10, it might be 5, but I would say 10. In the next 10 years, we are, as American citizens, are going to be abusing weed. Now, I'm not trying to say you specifically and people that watch this channel specifically, because people that watch this channel specifically, and we get to learn and we get to growing together, we're not going to be abusing weed like this because we're going to be looking towards for the future. Now, what I'm really am trying to explain to you guys is when alcohol went through this, they put alcohols in the stores and they legalized alcohol and they federalized alcohol, and alcohol was being distorted through the cities and counties and states. It was good. But notice they did not let people in their homes make alcohol. It's still against the law to brew alcohol in your home. Why? Because if everybody was making alcohol in their home, it would get abused. Crime rate would be going up. Alcohol abuse, crime rates would be going high. Alcohol car accidents would be higher. Okay? Now understand, marijuana hasn't killed nobody. Everybody's going to say that. Everybody's going to be with you. And I'm with you. But this is the point of where I'm saying it's going to get abused when everybody's growing weed, when the weed guy or the black market is not making no money. What you think they're going to do? They're going to do what they're doing now. They're going to go get stronger stuff, fentanyl, stronger than fentanyl, and try to disrupt the flow of marijuana and how it grows. Okay, so when you got that, now I probably was like, Michael, you're overlooking it. No, I'm not overlooking at it. I'm actually seeing for what it is. I'm looking at other countries that are following us who has laws and rules, or the black market's a lot bigger and heavier than here in America. Now, that's one part of it. That's one side of it. The reason why this is cool.
So essentially, I gave the county free money.
Charlotte City Council approved a zoning change Monday night, creating 3 defined districts where marijuana sellers can plant their roots.
We deliver to Charlotte, but we're not local to Charlotte.
The newly opened door means opportunity.
You heard that. So, and this is the second point right here, what I'm trying to make. Where is the taxpayers' money going? That is the question. That needs to be answered some shape, some way, some form. Where is the taxpayers' money going? Because you just heard us say, we're not even residents of Charlotte. But Charlotte's finna get all that revenue and all that taxpayers' money.
For a small business like Bazanzo's.
We can get it to the people who know that we deliver there, but all of those people who are there that don't have rides or don't have a credit card, all of those people still are without access to something that they need, which is a medicinal value.
Although passed by a 6-1 vote, the decision to allow pot sales in Charlotte didn't come without pushback from residents.
This idea of marijuana stinks.
Bazanzo's marketing director, Erin McCann-Sabo, says not only are public concerns valid, she agrees with them.
I don't want my kids having access to cannabis that they're not supposed to have access to. We like the regulations. We like this.
Meaning she doesn't want her kids buying weed off the street. Should nobody, for real, I would honestly agree with her with people putting fentanyl in weed and pills and stuff like that. No, I don't want nobody buying weed off the street. The regulation is cool. But the growing in the house is going to cause another conflict. I guarantee y'all 10 years from now.
CRA kind of helping to make sure that there is a protective layer for our youth.
For Councilman Brandon Dyer, every dollar given to a legal operation is one that stays in the city's pocket and off the street market.
Stays in the city's pocket, not your pocket, the city.
Charlotte City Council members tell me a few marijuana developers have already reached out with some interest in licensing. Live in the newsroom, Riley Connell, News 10.
Riley, thanks.
That's gonna digress too.
The last best place is probably the last place you'd expect to see this. Dispensaries and grow houses dotting Montana's stunning landscape. This is in Ruby Red, Montana, where last year 57% of voters moved to legalize recreational marijuana. To give you an idea, 2 years before, President Donald Trump received that same share in this state. Today, 22 states and the District of Columbia have legal access to cannabis. But the lack of federal legislation is leaving small dispensary owners with big problems.
This is one of the highest testing strains in Montana.
Elliot Lindsay is the owner of Bozeman-based dispensary Grizzly Pine.
We need to move past the conversation about whether or not cannabis exists or should exist and move towards a regulated industry that is normal.
Even legal cannabis businesses are anything but normal. Every week, Elliot drives hours in an unmarked van to deposit cash at one of the few banks willing to work with him. As a dispensary owner, he can't access most major financial institutions or take credit cards.
This has been a problem since day one. This is what I mean by if not too many banks are dealing with you, the banks that are dealing with you, what are their intentions to do with your money and your funds? Who endorses these banks that actually are endorsing these cannabis dispensaries? You know what I'm saying? Do anybody ever think about that? Nobody doesn't think about that because we're just so happy just to have the weed legalized. And I understand, and I don't want weed illegalized. I just want it a little bit better regulated to where we understand how it works. And I'm not just saying the weed, I'm saying the taxes, the money, the flow, since it's already been disputed and hated upon, how does that money work? How does that flow? That is what my bottom line is, and that's what my new job is here, is to find that out and find out how that works. I am guaranteed to somehow find out how that works. I got to find out how that works. We got to see where this goes, where does this money go? Remember, y'all, this is almost $1 billion industry. Peeps, some reports say $1 billion. Last time I actually checked the report, it was 700 million, almost $1 billion. But just listen. I when I heard something that's triggering, that means something different, that's when I'm gonna stop and break some shit down for you.
Cards, since selling marijuana is still against federal law.
We have been fortunate enough to find a local credit union.
Elliot's careful not to ruin his relationship with a local bank that keeps his business compliant with the law.
Is there anything else that you as a cannabis business owner have to deal with that other businesses don't?
Oh man, yeah. There's a lot that we have to do. Yeah, there's a laundry list.
You said you had a peach card, correct?
Operating a legal dispensary is expensive even after purchasing a license.
I don't know that there's a whole lot of consumer-based businesses where you would be required to wear a badge like this one.
Owners could face hefty fines for failing to follow strict rules amid unscheduled inspections from state authorities. Since cannabis is still a Schedule I drug, legal dispensary owners don't qualify for tax exemptions like traditional businesses. Gallatin County Sheriff Dan.
That key sentence, what she just said, is where I'm trying to get at. These marijuana industry doesn't get taxed like normal tax evasion. So therefore, it's like taxpayers' money over here. Businesses that does taxpayers' money is also over here. Poor people also over here. Marijuana industry, taxpayer, businesses over here. People that buy weed and that 10% tax on the marijuana that you spend for that gram over here. It does not get unified with regular taxes and get put into schools and streets and stuff like that. For as we know, they don't tell us exactly where the money go. This is where I'm saying, y'all. This is why people don't like the government. I talk to a lot of people every day. Like, I'm getting bolder now and start to talk to people and ask questions. People would think I'm an insider politician, and I'm like, I'm not a politician. I'm just a person that's concerned about the American way. I really do truly understand that people do not like America at all. Period. You here, you work, you pay your bills, you smoke your weed, we smoke together. But then it's like I just asked a coworker today, like, you like smoking weed? She's like, yeah, man, I be smoking good, you know what I'm saying? Be on that be on it. Do you like America? Nah, I don't like America. Do you think America grows the best weed? Oh, yeah, America grows the best weed. Okay. America grows the best weed. But you wouldn't invest in America making sure that we grow the certain weed if you knew that the taxpayer money went to a cartel or somebody outside of the industry that you didn't feel that was safe. Okay? That's what I'm getting at when you hear phrases like this come out of reporters' mouth.
Schedule I drug, legal dispensary owners don't qualify for tax exemptions like traditional businesses. Gallatin County Sheriff Dan Springer backs federal legislation that would give marijuana businesses access to banking services.
I will say it's confusing when you have a federal statute, that creates it as a crime or doesn't clear it. And then you have state laws that are different than federal laws.
Safe Banking's biggest advocates in this state say they don't support legalizing marijuana. But now that voters chose to do it, they say it's a public safety issue not to take action.
That includes Montana's Republican senator, now leading the charge in Washington on the bipartisan bill.
We want to help law enforcement. This is about making our communities safer by allowing these businesses access to our banks.
Working with...
Answer that question right here. I do know the difference between an American and United States Republic. Yes, I do. I do. For people that think I don't, I do. I do. I have been doing my research. But the thing is, and the question is, it's not about the U.S. and it's not about the American citizen right now at the moment. Right now, it's about where and where is our taxpayer money going that we do spend on weed when you go to a dispensary? Where's the taxpayer money going for those who are invested in dispensaries if their money is not allowed in normal banks? If I got to go to this outside bank, what does this outside bank influence come from? Who is endorsing these banks that's not regularly federal funded by U.S. government? That's where I be getting at. That's where I'm trying to point a finger at. Like, okay, people want me to get back into the marijuana. Okay, let me get back into this marijuana. But you're not going to like what I discover when I get back into this marijuana stuff, because now it's about where your dollar going. And that's the biggest thing. Where are your dollars going to? You as an American citizen, and I'm only speaking to the American citizen, people that are United States of Republican citizens that's outside of outside America, who understands laws different from those who are classified as territorial states. Okay, that should let you know that I know about it. It's different. You're gonna look at things different, but yet again, you shouldn't look at things too much differently, because your money that you spend on dispensary going to the same cause, has the same effect, and it's not affecting you. You see that's where I'm going, and I'm gonna finish up this video. And we're gonna get back into it just so y'all can.
Top Democrats on perhaps the biggest marijuana reform bill that could pass this year.
So if we're going to have businesses doing this, then let's treat them as businesses and not as drug dealers.
Julie, I got two questions for you. One is small.
Key word right there, what he just said. Let's treat them as businesses and not as drug dealers. So, rumor is, and I'm going to keep saying until I get the facts and I get something that says otherwise, that this money, the cannabis taxpayers' money, goes to cartels and other people outside of the country. But I did a report yesterday, and I'm going to bring that story back up. I feel like I'm going to have to bring that story back up for people today, since I got a small audience and this marijuana stuff is deep, that you got countries like Germany that's still under prohibition. You still got countries that's prohibition marijuana, but they see how United States is growing from the marijuana industry and how big it's become. Like I said, we put a B. There are 2 exact official states that came out of poverty doing the marijuana, meaning getting they homeless and bringing jobs to their state. There's 2 states
Montana
out there.
politics question, and I'll do that second. But the big question is, the law they're seeking to pass here, is it creating a workaround the issue of marijuana being a Schedule I drug, or are they actually going to reschedule it?
No, this has nothing to do with descheduling the drug, and that's one of the big issues from basically hamstringing Congress from going even further. Safe banking is essentially just a public safety bill, but it's one that would essentially remove any penalties or red tape around big banks from working with cannabis businesses, and it makes that process more streamlined.
And in politics, sometimes who gets credit for a bill matters more sometimes than whether the bill gets passed. I have understood there's a little bit of a rivalry.
Yo, I'm had to rewind this because I'm really peeping my boy over here ask these questions, and look at, he's so hesitant to ask the questions that need to be asked, because therefore you don't want to poke the bear and ask the right question and get an answer that will shock the nation. And that's what's really going on, bros. So let me rewind this, and I really want y'all to really pay attention to my boy ask these questions.
Safer by allowing these businesses access.
It's like he know the question he wants, but he can't just ask the right
to our
question.
banks.
So let's go back
Working
over this
with
again.
top Democrats on perhaps the biggest marijuana reform bill that could pass this year.
So if we're going to have businesses doing this, then let's treat them as businesses and not as drug dealers.
Julie, I got two questions for you. One is small Montana politics question, and I'll do that second. But the big question is, the law they're seeking to pass here, is it creating a workaround the issue of marijuana being a Schedule I drug, or are they actually going to reschedule it?
No, this has nothing to do with descheduling the drug, and that's one of the big issues from basically hamstringing Congress from going even further. Safe banking is essentially just a public safety bill, but it's one that would essentially remove any penalties or red tape around big banks from working with cannabis businesses, and it makes that process more streamlined.
And in politics, sometimes who gets credit for a bill matters more sometimes than whether the bill gets passed. I have understood there's a little bit of a rivalry between Daines and Tester about who would get credit for this, and it actually could blow the deal up. What's going on?
That's super interesting because actually this week, totally unrelated, but the Senate failed to pass a research bill that was sponsored by Senator Tester that would essentially direct the VAs to provide, to do research on medicinal cannabis and whether that would affect veterans positively in terms of PTSD and other issues. That bill failed. Senator Daines voted against it, and that was viewed as a major setback from the marijuana advocates and that industry on what can actually pass in the future. So super interesting question there, Chuck.
Yeah, no, there's definitely, I think, a little 2024 campaign politics going on there. Julie Sirkin with some terrific reporting there. Julie, thank you.
Why does it matter who gets credit or who don't get credit for this? We don't, well, okay. Give credit when credit's due. True indeed. But the main thing we should be worried about is where is the taxpayers' money going. Period. If we don't think that's true, I don't know what else you can really be looking at and want to see. But that should be one of our main concerns about what's going on. Hey. Switching to what is one of our main concerns and things that's going on and things that people are just so happen to be always looking at. Is your boy since he been locked up. I got this guy. I would bring his I'm gonna bring up his video about what everybody's saying in the hood. So I don't want nobody saying like, hey man, you speaking for, I ain't speaking for nobody. I'm speaking for what are these remarks and what are these things be saying. So let me just find it real quick, because it's shocking. And the reason why I'm saying this is because of the thing I played in the beginning was the Trump let out song. And I'm like, okay, cool. All right. But the response from everybody who's really, really supporting him all of a sudden, it's astonishing. It's shocking to me. And somebody told me when things are shocking to a person, that can be systemically racism. I mean, that's what he was told to be. I haven't seen old boy in a couple of while too. He must have got that new job and moved on. But he did tell me that could be systemically racism that I am looking at. And wow. They're not showing the video, I promise you. I promise you. So hold on 1 second. This is the part where normally I would be rushing and stuff like that. Or I would go try to find something else to do to like, oh my God, I can't find it, so let me stop looking for it. No, this is the part where I need to start taking my time and really just, you know what I'm saying? I know I have it here somewhere. I watched it. I stopped watching it in the beginning of it. That ain't it. I stopped watching it because I wanted to save it for you guys. I wanted to save it for her. I really did. And them trying to say that I didn't look at it and that I didn't see this, and like I'm totally blind to what I was looking at. It's a little frustrating. Bro, and they really, what the heck? Whoa. So, while they're doing that, I can play. While I look for the response, I am going to play this video for you guys. I feel like at least give y'all some type of information or what's going on. It'd be better than anything. Better than y'all just looking at me. You dig? You dug. Let's get into this.
Loving people, welcome to another episode of Front Page. I'm your host, Scott Cameron Goulet. On Thursday, President Trump was arrested at the Fulton County Jail. This was another dark day in American history, but Republicans are also starting to fight back. On the same day of President Trump's arrest, the U.S. House Judiciary Committee announced that it was investigating the motives of Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis for prosecuting President Trump. The first Republican primary debate is now over. The situation was different from what analysts predicted, so who was the big winner of the debate besides President Trump? Due to the previous year's pandemic control policies and the leftist management style, a number of financial firms moved to the South. The biggest losers were New York City and California. The unexpected death of Yevgeny Prigozhin, the head of the Wagner Group, reported by Western media, has made Russian President Vladimir Putin the #1 suspect, but Putin broke his silence and he expressed his condolences over Prigozhin's tragic fate. Okay, let's get into it. President Trump traveled to Atlanta on Thursday to turn himself in for the Georgia election indictment. He revealed early that he would be arrested at 7:30 p.m. at the Fulton County Jail. In a brief speech before boarding his plane on Thursday night, President Trump called his arrest a very sad day for the United States.
Thank you very much for being here. I really believe this is a very sad day for America. This should never happen. If you challenge an election, you should be able to challenge an election.
He reiterated that he has done nothing wrong and that many Democrats had done similar things.
I should have every right to do that. As you know, you have many people that you've been watching over the years do the same thing, whether it's Hillary Clinton or Stacey Abrams or many others. When you have that great freedom to challenge, you have to be able to, otherwise you could have very dishonest elections. What has taken place here is a travesty of justice. We did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. And everybody knows it.
At the same time, President Trump said that these election interferences are helping him win more support.
I've never had such support, and that goes with the other ones too. What they're doing is election interference. They're trying to interfere with an election. There's never been anything like it in our country before. This is their way of campaigning. And this is one instance, but you have 3 other instances. It's election interference.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are now listening to the Burn Live Smoking Weed session. I'm using my sexy voice to let you know that this video that I am going to go to next is hilarious. And exactly what he's saying is exactly right and exactly is going on. This is what everybody is tripping off of. And I'm shocked too. And I be asking people questions like, why is this so big to y'all? A mug shot. A mug shot. And then my boy right here, he was like, you know what? How about I put a video together and just show y'all? I was like,
Of the
my
video.
God.
So here we go.
I don't mean no harm, and I don't give a who this offends. But if that Trump get convicted of this crime and he can still run for president, I'm voting for his. I'm voting for that. I'm voting for him. If that gets convicted and he can still run for president, just to see what the fuck he do, because that funny now. Trump is funny as. I'm voting for him. I'm telling you right now, okay? So just miss me with it. Make America great again.
You know, it's interesting to see something like that because people always said.
He's finna say it. I'm gonna let him say it. But ain't that I'm just gonna ask the question. He gonna say it, but I'm gonna ask the question. Ain't that a LGBTQ community person right there?
Black people would never back Trump. Black people don't back Trump. The LGBTQ community doesn't back Trump. They don't like Trump. Trump hates those groups of people. And yet, I'm telling you, 2024 is going to be a movie. I hope Donald Trump, Uncle Trump, has a documentary crew following him everywhere he goes right now, making videos, recording the entire process the whole way, because it's gonna be a number one. It's gonna be a number one hit movie in the theaters. I'm telling you. I hope he's doing it. I truly do. But of course, you know, as I always say with these types of videos, there's more.
When are you guys gonna learn? The more you indict, the more we unite.
Facts.
It's Trump 2024. We don't care.
Nothing else.
You heard me? We already made our mind up. You already know when the hood got your back. Man, they deep in the hood. Gangsters hollering about Trump 2024. You heard me? Whoop, whoop. Wah. Gangsters. The hood got this man back. I'm just trying to tell you. You heard me? And we ain't stupid, man. American people, man. We ain't all them talking about lockdowns and back when the masks and all that. You know, they got a new virus coming and it's gonna be, man, nobody don't care. Ain't fooling nobody no more with none of that. You know, new jack, man, nobody being fooled no more. We all the way up, you heard me? It's Trump 2024. That's what it's gonna be, cause we ain't.
The tables have turned, baby. You know, Democrats, they thought that they had a W. They thought they had a win. We're gonna get his mugshot. And it was the worst thing they could have done. But let's continue.
Yes, you better believe it. Look what happened to Martha Stewart. She caught that felony.
Look, this is the question he's replying to right here. Cap prison gets him invited to the black cookout. All right. And he said yes.
Yes, you better believe it. Look what happened to Martha Stewart. She caught that felony. She goes to all the cookouts with Snoop Dogg. She is endorsed. She crippin'. Bruh, Trump is a brother now. I'm sorry. You go to jail in Zone 6 Atlanta, you a brother. Straight up. They up.
Big time.
Did this man just say what? If you do what?
Trump is a brother now. I'm sorry. You go to jail in Zone 6 Atlanta, you a brother.
If you think they done trapping because they made it rapping, basically this is something that you don't really know about me. A ghetto superstar riding through the 6, middle finger up, singing come trumpet. This trumping it. What? They trumping it. What? They trumping it. What? They trumping it. Valley! Huh? They trumping it. Come on, man. Stop playing, bro.
Straight up. They up.
Big time.
like that went to jail. They believe in.
He said, I'm going to have to bleep that out, but he said N-words like N-words that have gone to jail. And it's true. I mean, Democrats royally stepped in at this time. They thought they had a pulse on the culture. They don't. They don't.
This is good. We believe in that. We trust that. I'm sorry. You can say what you want.
I have a lot of questions because I want to see the fact is like, where are you going when you go to talk about things like you going to jail? We believe in you. You get out of jail. So you can imagine like Al Capone and all these great mafia guys when they got out of jail, how the streets looked at them. Now you and me can get an understanding of how corrupted became a hero. Corruptions builds heroes. Not the Superman and Batman and Iron Man and Thor and Captain America. Not these Marvel movies that we see on television. No. That's not really how it is here in America. We look for the corruptedest, most horrifying, most situation of all, and then I want to show you that yes, he's our hero. I'm gonna have to bring Mr. Cobb on here because he wants to explain to everybody that, you know, you are United States citizens. You're not Americans. Americans is something different. I'm gonna have to get him on here. He been actually blowing me up to get me on here, and I've been wanting to get a guest on my show for a long time. So I'm gonna definitely have to put that together. It probably will be very interesting to see two brothers sit here and talk about some things that's I will believe very interesting and informational. You know what I'm saying? To learn, because a lot of people don't know, you know what I'm saying? And he does have a lot of things. I hope he brings the paperwork and we can sit here and upload things and talk about some things and share values. But this right here, Trump 2024 is amazing. Now, everybody just coming in here now, I did spend the first 30 minutes on marijuana topics. Before I end, I will be going back to marijuana topics just because I just want everybody to understand I do talk about marijuana news now. I'm sorry I got away from it, but I brought it back. I just want to start explaining that to people when people come in here and straight watch my stream live. I just want to let them know I do talk about marijuana news. I am onto marijuana taxes and where does it go. I want you to hashtags marijuana taxes. Where does it go? We need to push this movement and find out where the taxpayer money is going. Yes, I'm still getting political. I'm still getting to the point of business because I love smoking weed with you. You love smoking weed with me. We smoke weed together. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. But I need to know where this taxpayer money going. There are situations out here where there's a lot of taxpayer money going on, and they're trying to say that these money is going to places that me and you might not like. I'm just saying, I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, but they're trying to change it. I'm gonna need y'all to go. Please rewatch this in the beginning so y'all can catch up. I definitely got to get with my friend and learn how to edit and make a shorter video of the marijuana point and put this up because I do need people explaining. But right now, to bring everybody up to speed, I am amazed in the black community because of a mugshot of Donald J. Trump. We got black fans out here on TikTok, Facebook, and stuff, and this is what we talking about right now, just to speed y'all up.
But they with people that went to jail. They with people that been in the penitentiary. They with people like that.
When he said when he said that part at the end, anybody thinking like how I thought when he said that they fucking with people, like is people in the penitentiary screaming Trump? Would you think that's possible? Hold on.
In the penitentiary, they with people like that.
Do you really think? Do you really think that they're putting him in a situation like that, y'all? I'm just asking. You think penitentiary people is yelling, "Hey man, y'all better go vote for Trump"? Huh? Am I tripping? I just need to. I just want to know. I'm just kind of curious and just want to know how y'all think. And if it's true, it's true. If it's not, it's not. Just let me know. I just want to know. It's crazy. It's wild, and it's I can't believe it. Do we got another one?
This next clip as well.
Telling the truth, but you also wasn't lying. It ain't your fault they was racist. You wasn't racist. You hung out with Mike Tyson. He was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with Will Smith. Donald Trump was releasing black prisoners with Kim Kardashian, while Kanye had to make America great at it. It was a strategy. I be forgetting we even have a president. What is Joe Biden doing? Where he at? Joe Biden got gas prices for people out here carpooling on motorcycles. I can't go to my corner store.
He said Joe Biden.
Did he say that?
Joe Biden gas prices got people carpooling on motorcycles.
Is we waking up in the black community? Are we really waking up, or are we just playing around? Huh? Or we be fooling ourselves? We playing like we know what's going on, but we really don't. Because hey, I'm just here just to bring y'all news and information and smoke weed with you guys. Just that's just what I like doing that. You know what I'm saying? I love doing it. I love coming out here finding these videos and like, man, this is what's going on. I just want to share it. And I don't have friends, so I share it with the internet. Like, boom, and at least it's on file somewhere. You may say one thing, but at least we all can say that it's on file. That's how I look at it. We all can see what's going on. Now, Vikan Ramaswamy, I'm starting to be able to say his name a lot better too. I'm so proud of myself. Ooh, I finna hear this ourselves. This is a video. I don't know what's too much going on. You know what I'm saying? This is the first time taking it, but it is about Vicky Ramaswamy. Now he's a immigrant that came over here from his family, made billions of dollars. Now he's running for president. I think I should be talking about this because you know what? Yeah, it's better for me to talk about him than y'all be like, oh man, you're talking about the white man. I'm not. No. I'm talking about Vicky Ramaswamy. All right.
May have come because Ramaswamy.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Good to talk to you, Chad.
A few moments later.
Why do you think there are more race-based violent crimes on the right than on the left? Why is this a lot more pervasive on the right?
Well, the fact of the matter is, I think that there's a lot more violence that's also pervasive in parts of the country that supposedly are left-wing voter bases. So I don't think this is a left versus right issue, and I don't think we should try to politicize this through partisan goggles either, Chuck, especially in the wake of a tragedy like this one.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy once again, because he's all over the place. I mean, he is on all of these mainstream liberal media outlets and also on right-wing outlets as well, too, and podcasts. And he's just talking to anybody that he can talk to. Doesn't matter what the subject is, he's talking about it. And it's interesting because all the other GOP candidates are not going on the mainstream liberal media to have these types of discussions like Vivek Ramaswamy, at least not at the same frequency. Which, again, is fascinating because it seems to me that they're totally fine with allowing GOP and Republican candidates to come on their networks. They just don't seem to want to, right? At least not as much as Vivek Ramaswamy does, which is kind of why he's on all these networks. And he's constantly pushing back against the narrative from the mainstream liberal media. And he's going to do that once again when discussing this mass shooting that happened in Jacksonville, Florida, in which a white man killed 3 black people in what allegedly is a racially motivated hate crime. Now, Vivek Ramaswamy is going to call out the hypocrisy of the race hustling, race baiting media, which is what Chuck Todd is going to do here. And he's going to call him out on the hypocrisy of the manifestos. The fact that this manifesto basically is going to be released almost immediately. We already know the motive, the alleged motive. But when it comes to the mass shooting that happened in Nashville that affected a Christian school that was committed by a transgender person, we haven't seen it, right? They don't want us to see it. They don't want to release it to the public for whatever reason. And again, he's going to openly call this out on NBC. And this is just another example of Vivek just doing things that other GOP candidates just aren't willing to do for whatever reason. It's pretty fascinating. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Let me start with the tragedy that took place in Jacksonville. This is what Sheriff Waters, how he described the incident last night.
This shooting was racially motivated, and he hated black people. He wanted to kill. He targeted a certain group of people, and that's black people. That's what he said he wanted to kill, and that's very clear. And I don't know that the targets were specific, but I know that any member of that race at that time was in danger.
Both the FBI and DHS in the last 2 years have said that racially motivated violent extremism is on the rise. This is clearly part of that. What would a President Ramaswamy want the Justice Department to do about this racially motivated violence that we're seeing on the rise?
I think that every criminal deserves to be punished to the fullest extent of the law, especially when they're carrying out premeditated crimes like this one. This is a heinous crime. My heart goes out to the families who were affected by this. It is tragic, and this should not be happening in the United States of America. I think the fact of the matter is, Chuck, it is really just a symptom of a deeper, new form of national division that we have created. And I think one of my top jobs as the next U.S. president is really to lead with a national tone of character that reminds us of how we are all united across our diverse attributes. I think part of the problem is we have obsessed so much over racial and other genetic differences that we have forgotten all of the ways we're really the same as a country. And I do think we need a leader and in the White House developing that national character for this country again. We also do have a mental health epidemic across this country, Chuck, that really is reflective of a hunger for purpose and meaning. We need to fill that void, address the mental health epidemic, but this is a tragedy and deserves to be called out as heinous. That's exactly what it was.
Why do you think there are more race-based violent crimes on the right than on the left? Why is this a lot more pervasive on the right?
Oh my God, what a silly question. Again, where do you get this? Where do you get this from, Chuck? Where is your evidence to back up these claims? There's more racially motivated hate crimes on the right than it is on the left. Wow. Again, this is the type of race hustling, race baiting that you see on the mainstream liberal media. He's trying to politicize this, okay? He's trying to make something that's not political. We don't know what this guy's political association is, I mean, he could be a leftist, right? There are such things as leftist white supremacists. I mean, we saw what happened in Buffalo. That guy was a left-wing white supremacist, okay? That's what he was. But Chuck Todd, in his mind, he's already got the answers, right? He's already got the answers. He's got his mind made up. And what he's doing to his audience is basically trying to say a wink and a nod, wink, wink. This came from the right, right? This came from the right. This guy was a right-winger. He was a Trump supporter. He's a MAGA guy. They do the same thing every single time, and it's disgusting. It is disgusting when they do this.
Well, the fact of the matter is, I think that there's a lot more violence that's also pervasive in parts of the country that supposedly are left-wing voter bases. So I don't think this is a left versus right issue, and I don't think we should try to politicize this through partisan goggles either, Chuck, especially in the wake of a tragedy like this one. The fact is there are more black men dying on the south side of Chicago.
Do you ignore the elements that allowed this manifesto to spread online, and that what we're, it does feel as if social media connects some of these hateful ideologies?
Well, the fact of the matter is I do think we have two standards that we're even applying if we're having a conversation about manifestos. We still have not yet even seen the manifesto of that transgender shooter in Nashville of a Christian school, and yet here we're focusing on the motive. So if we want to look at this through a politicized lens, let's look at what the political media and the political establishment is doing differentially in how they analyze different crimes and then create a new narrative around it.
Facts. That's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. It, depending on who does it, they create a different narrative just depending on whether or not it fits the narrative that they want. With this one right here, because it's white on black and allegedly is racially motivated, they're going to play it up as if, oh, this is some type of, this is, an indictment on whites, right? This is an indictment on just how bad white supremacy is in this country and just how terrible black folks have it. Okay, it's going to be an indictment against all whites. That's the way they're going to frame it. But when it's black on black, it's not an indictment against black people in regards to how bad black people treat each other. No. That's actually the white man's fault too, because the white man made him do it, right? When it's black on white, it's just ignore it. It doesn't exist, right? They're not going to have a conversation about it. They're not going to talk about it. Again, I have done multiple stories of black on white hate crimes, murders, and they haven't gotten nearly the press that this story is getting. And I'm not saying that this story shouldn't get pressed. I'm just saying all the stories should get pressed, right? We do have a racial issue in this country, but the problem is that the racial issue is getting worse because of the two standards of coverage.
That's true. That is true. This is why I'm playing this video and I'm not talking as much, because he's basically saying all the facts. He's putting everything together like how it needs to be said. And Vicky Ramaswamy is like I said, running for candidate, and he's out here saying the harsh, true facts that I believe people need to hear. You know what I'm saying? Will you vote for him or not? I'm just giving the dude recognition, more recognition than he needs, because he's doing good. He's everywhere. He's on podcasts and stuff like that. But these issues that are being discussed that I'm not scared to talk about, that I even talk about them at work. Hopefully I don't get in trouble. But you know what I'm saying? I just feel like I want to know how my people feel. And since I'm in a state, I'm next to California, I want to hear opinions. I want to know. It makes me come and sit here with you guys and be able to have a good discussion. It makes me can't wait to sit here with a guest and have discussions and understand what type of questions that need to be asked to understand how my neighbors feel.
The fact that we don't tackle all the racism, okay, like we tackle some forms of racism that is white on black, but we don't tackle it when it's the other way around. We don't address it when it's the other way around. That's the problem. You're actually creating more racism. And that's a point that Vivek is going to bring up here.
The fact is, what I said in the Nashville shooter case, I will say here. Any killing, any mass killing is heinous. We need to get to the root cause of the mental health epidemic, address that. We need leadership that sets the right tone in this country. But if we are going to talk about manifestos and politicization, Chuck, I think it is incomplete not to look at the absence of releasing that Nashville shooter manifesto even as of today. That's why I personally traveled to Nashville to call for it. And that, I think, is the best evidence of real politicization in terms of what the public sees and what the public doesn't. I want to apply one standard for everybody. I don't want to look at this through partisan goggles. I want to look at this through one standard of the rule of law for everybody.
You believe racism is a mental health issue?
Well, I do believe that racism in many cases is manufactured in a way that creates more racism in this country. I cannot think of a greater way, Chuck, of driving racism in this country than to take something else away from someone based on the color of their skin. And so is there existing racism in the United States? Of course there is. But those last burning embers of racism, the last thing I want to do is throw kerosene on it. And yet that's exactly what I believe the modern culture is doing by creating race-based quota systems that deny people access to goods or services based on the color of their skin. The right answer to stop discrimination on the basis of race, as John Roberts said it, is to stop discriminating on the basis of race. And I am genuinely worried that we're seeing a new wave of anti-black and anti-Hispanic racism as a consequence of the so-called anti-racist movements.
Your argument comes across as blaming those that are trying to create equality for the rise in racism.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, that is what it is, right? That's exactly what it is. Okay, and first of all, they're not trying to create equality. They're actually trying to create inequality. They don't want equality. They want special rights and privileges. And when you're demanding special rights and privileges, you're going to make people more racist. That's what's going to happen. Okay, that's exactly what's happening. And the fact that the mainstream liberal media refuses to acknowledge it and doesn't want to call it out for what it is, you're a part of the problem, Chuck. They're not trying to create equality. None of these people are trying to create equality. They don't want equal treatment. They don't believe in treating everybody equally. They don't believe in that, right? What they believe is treating people differently based off their skin color and their race. That's what they believe. That's what the woke race hustlers believe. But see, again, Vivek is the only GOP candidate that is going on television, the liberal media, and giving the liberal media a taste of their own medicine, calling out the liberal media, calling out the woke race hustlers when it comes to this race conversation. He is literally their worst nightmare when it comes to this conversation about race. Okay, he is their worst nightmare. Okay, this is why he's being smeared so much in the mainstream liberal media right now. This is why he's been attacked, because they know that this man is dangerous. He is a dangerous weapon for conservatives when it comes to this race conversation. Okay, and this is a prime example.
Well, the fact is, Chuck, I don't want to be playing a blame game. I want to be going towards a solution. And I am genuinely worried that those who earnestly espouse the view, I'm going to quote Ibram Kendi from his book directly, I'm not putting words in anybody's mouth, says the right answer to past discrimination is present discrimination. The right answer to present discrimination is future discrimination. I believe the people who hold that view are earnest about it, but I think they're wrong. And I think that that's actually creating more discrimination and more division in our country. And I think the right answer is actually to restore colorblind equality, colorblind meritocracy, embrace what unites us across our diversity instead of celebrating our skin-deep diverse attributes. That's how I think we reunite this country, Chuck. And it's not blaming anybody else for having a different point of view, but I do think that as a leader, it's my job to articulate exactly how we will unite this country. And that's exactly how I'm going to do it.
Let me move to the debate.
Facts, right? Facts. I mean, he's.
I am fin to get off into some more marijuana news. I did find something that was a little interesting that I skipped on that's going on, and I do believe it was Oklahoma. Yeah, I know people like, what, marijuana news? On a marijuana smoking channel? Yes, y'all. I got news for that else. Okay.
Go in and shut the operation down. Tonight, we're digging into illegal marijuana operations and the impact they're having on the state.
Right now, law enforcement agencies are working to keep illegal grow operations from getting out of control. This includes sheriffs in rural communities. Fox 25's David Chazanoff joins us live from the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics. David, first, how bad has this situation gotten?
Adam and Wendy, the OBN says it has shut down more than 800 grows since 2021. Now, what made that all possible?
Man, Oklahoma, 800 illegal grow houses. A lot of people be claiming that, man, I'm in a grow house. I had a friend a long time ago when I first started Burn Live podcast. He got to go to a grow house and some things happened to where, it got raided. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I'm not putting him out there who he is, you know what I'm saying? That's near there. But the fact is that did happen. Wow.
Possible to begin with, working with local agencies to serve search warrants. This includes the McLean County Sheriff's Office.
It's everything. I mean, we got to work together to combat the illegal drug activity.
Sheriff Landy Alfolter says McLean County deputies have assisted the OBN on a couple different search warrants within the past year.
We're prepared. I mean, we make sure we have enough personnel to make it safe. And there's really no set standard because it depends on the location and maybe how many people you need.
According to Alfolter, his region has about 350 grows.
Out of those, some of them have closed. Some of them through the illegal search warrants where we served the search warrants and closed them down.
The sheriff's office has also come into contact with this illegal activity through traffic stops.
We've made a lot of stops out on the road illegally transporting marijuana and have seized some and other drugs along with that.
A trend the OBN has also seen. Mark Woodward tells Fox 25 his agency has intercepted trafficking from semi-truckloads of marijuana that were disguised as legitimate products. Sheriff Alfolter says this crime is the worst it's been in quite a while.
It's concerning because it's illegal and I mean, it's getting into the wrong hands.
The OBN says it has shut down more than 800 illegal grows, arrested over 200 criminals, and seized at least 650,000 pounds of marijuana since 2021. A problem many sheriffs are keeping a close eye on.
Well, all of us sheriffs communicate with each other on this type of problem, whether it's the grow houses or any other type crime.
Now, the OBN says illegal grows can lead to homicides, sex trafficking, and other crimes. And you can read the rest of their statement on our website right now. That's OKCFox.com. Reporting live in Oklahoma City, David Chazanoff, Fox 25 News.
I thought just me investigating on the taxes and where our taxpayer money going, there's probably going to be a lot more news of these raids getting put out here on the news, too. I'm going to be bringing, like I said, y'all, I am going to be doing political and marijuana news. I'm going to make sure I bring both. I will start off with marijuana news probably for the first 30 minutes up to an hour. The second half, I do probably some political, or I probably do, back and forth just like I'm doing right now. So, well, damn. Oklahoma tripping. Like, y'all need to get y'all shit together and get a little bit more organized. Well, it sounds like they are organized, but you know what I'm saying? People tripping when you out there driving like that and, you might accidentally bump at a red light or bump at a stop sign, not yelling, and anything to alert a police to pull you over. You know what I'm saying? And then you probably in a big ass van or something. That's crazy. That's concerning. And stuff like this and more reports like this would make other states slow to legalize, and then they're gonna, even though you legalize it, they're still gonna get a task force out here to lock people up that's abusing. And that's the key word that people be not paying attention to. People are still gonna find a way. Criminals, people who don't care about the law, are still gonna find ways to abuse the law. And that's basically what it is and how it's gonna work. And you can get mad, I can get mad and be like, I don't care. You better care, because after a while, stuff like this is gonna start affecting us, affecting laws, and then, it's gonna be like, hey, you get locked up. Like, I don't know. I'm just being irrational. You get caught with 3 pounds, you're probably gonna get like a felony charge, especially if you're trafficking. Especially, you see how it gets out of using to trafficking, and that's a whole different concept. And people are not thinking that maybe that small little bag that you got in your car that you just got from the dispensary or got from the weed man, you might like, oh, it's little, man. Police ain't gonna be tripping, man. It's recreational. And a lot of people think like that. Still today, oh, man, it's recreational. Man, I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, okay. All right. You're gonna meet that wrong cop one day, and even I'm going through it too, you know what I'm saying? I'm very cautious, and I try to do what I do too, you know what I'm saying? But thinking about holding a lot, you get pulled over. That's all it takes. And then they're like, where's your paperwork on this? I'm like, oh man, you ain't got your paperwork. It's a little over. Let's see what else they got.
All right, David, thank you. And just last week, the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics shut down more marijuana growing operations. The agency says one was located in Hughes County, the other in Cleveland County. The operations were
this in the Midwest, and also understandable when you have these big tomatoes and vegetable grow houses, and they done turn them into weed houses because they track the right heat, space, and heating and stuff. All they doing is going to get search warrants once one person complains. Always check with your neighbors and see if they okay with things too.
the focus of 2 separate investigations into out-of-state black market marijuana trafficking. OBN says Oklahomans can anonymously report illegal drug activity like this by contacting the agency on Facebook. Illegal facilities can also pose safety concerns. Back in April, first responders battled a fire at an illegal marijuana processing facility in Logan County. And during that investigation into the fire, officials found the facility did not have a license to have the butane that they had on site. Butane is a dangerous chemical that's used when extracting marijuana into a concentrated liquid form for vapes and edibles.
We've had a number of fires associated with these processors where we've had chemicals that were stored incorrectly. People admitted that they were never trained on how to use these chemicals.
Investigators say the facility's operators previously had a license to operate, but not at this Logan County location. They also seized 4,000 pounds of illegal product.
Illegal products and drug trafficking, not the only crimes we've seen tied to a marijuana grow operation. Back in November.
Hey, y'all, this is deep. I don't know if y'all tripping off this, but this is very deep. And they got stories upon stories full of this. Like, is y'all really peeping, like, this ain't no just little stories.
November, OSBI revealed 4 people found dead at an illegal operation just west of Hennessy. 3 men and a woman were killed. An additional victim was hurt and taken to the hospital. The OSBI said all those victims were Chinese nationals. Court documents revealed that Wu Chen had demanded the 4 workers return his $300,000 investment in the operation shortly before he started shooting. And there's a new strategy in play to crack down on the rampant illegal weed industry in the state.
A plot of land previously used for an illegal grow operation in the Coleman area is now being sold off. As Fox 25's Tom Ferguson explains, bidding will start in a couple of weeks for this first sale of its kind.
The county sheriff here tells me just 15 years ago, if you told him there would be international drug trafficking operations here, he wouldn't have believed you. But he says times have changed and officials need to respond. Property of the Johnston County Sheriff's Office. That's what the signs at this plot of land near 48 and East Grassy Creek Road now say after officials seized it. Back in 2021, law enforcement busted an illegal operation and found about 20,000 plants whose black market value was at least $30 million, according to the sheriff.
The way to go after these individuals is not only to try to put them in jail, but to go after their assets.
Sheriff Gary Dodd is calling for this strategy to be expanded to seize the assets of those involved in human trafficking and child exploitation too.
We're dealing with large criminal organizations setting up shop in
Ladies and gentlemen, I think I have found my first actual true story into the marijuana business and kid trafficking and the cartels, where it's starting to spread out into America based. Now, y'all wanted me, I wanted to get into this marijuana business and get into this news and politics and stuff. I did. Okay. And now that I have actually found a little bit, I mean, I knew eventually it was going to happen, like no bullcrap. It was eventually going to start showing its ugly face, you know, because you stay in the news, you know what I'm saying? You just got to find the smaller news. Now, I guess there's a couple of other things I got to start looking into definitely now, because it's really starting to hit the fans, especially when you got kids involved. And my main thing is, y'all, marijuana keeping you connected, keeping underage kids off of social media. That means keeping the kids free, safe, and out of harm's way. Taking the time out of something I enjoy and making sure that kids are the future. And it's crazy over here in America how things are, how things look. It's so indecisive. You got people think one way, you got people think the other. I'm not here to sway nobody and put nobody in a situation where I want you to think a certain way. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I'm going to bring you stories in this marijuana industry. Some of these stories are going to be harsh. They're going to be heavy. They're going to be maybe a little hard to grasp. Just like when people listen to me and we talk politics and you smoke weed, it's going to be some things that probably hard for y'all to smoke, and y'all like, you know, nope, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. And I do understand. But I want to build this lane for the marijuana industry because I feel like it's necessary for this lane to be built. Somebody got to do it. It's too many potheads out here, and I don't watch all the potheads, but I sit back and I flip through and I look for new potheads and I look for what's the new, and a lot of people are doing the same thing. Once it get legalized, it's cool. What's the new strain? What's the new strain? What's the new strain? What's the new strain? Nobody in the marijuana industry, and there are people out there that pay attention to the news. The laws only in marijuana. They don't go super investigating into stories, into situations that may cause, you know what I'm saying, a little conflict of interest. Like, how can you be for marijuana, but you might find a story that may suggest that, you know, it may suggest that I say something that's negative towards marijuana. You see what I'm saying? Like this right here. This story right here is a prime example because I was told through a source and through some people a long time ago, you know, that the money that we pay for in dispensary and on taxes go to people that don't have the same interests of America. Here, United States. I'm gonna say it like that for people that don't like me say United States, but people who doesn't have the same interests of here. And more that we legalize marijuana here and have this open border, you see where the two problems starting to come together. See how it's come together, eh, mate? We have people that can sneak in, cartels, people with money, illegally buy up land, grow weed, extribute it, make hundreds of millions of dollars, sneak back to the border or however they're doing it. I don't know how they're doing it. I just knew that cases like this was going to come across my plate sooner or later. And I didn't want people that be watching my show to be looking at me like, man, maybe you shouldn't. Like, no, I want to cover all stories political and all stories marijuanical if I'm going to go on from here on out. Okay. I just for some reason, I just wanted to get this off my chest and get this off on the air and live, and when people watch this later in the morning, whenever, because I got people that seem like they watch it. I have a low rate when I'm done, and then I check on a video, and I go back on Facebook, and I go back on YouTube, and I check it a little later, and it's like people do watch it a little later. So I do got to think about people that do watch it, and now people probably see that there are marijuana stories up in here. I started off with marijuana stories, then I got political, and I came back to marijuana story. People might watch a little bit longer. But this story right here is talking about seizing properties, marijuana that didn't have to do with no American citizens. And this is what I was afraid of coming across and coming to see, and thinking that it was going to become a problem. I knew it. I was just hoping that, you know what I'm saying, they just didn't pop up on me like this. But I'm going to rewind it so you can hear it. And as you see, technically you can see it because I paused it where the writing is up there. Okay? You see what they're saying. Human trafficking and kids influence dealing with marijuana. Okay? This is in Oklahoma. This is why I wanted to stop, explain some things first, but we kept going. I'm finna rewind it so you can hear it again, even though you see it, but I want you to rewind. I'm gonna rewind it so you can hear it again, so you can get more of the concept, just in case people just be coming in. Oh, but look at that. As I rewind it just a few seconds before I play the video. Look at that picture. Or look at the video. But if you can squint your eyes, if you're on a phone or a tablet, whatever you're watching this on. I'm not on Spotify, so, but I'm looking at the news, but I have paused it for people that are listening. And you see, they look like Mexicans. I'm not judging. ladies and gentlemen. This is me not judging. You can call it what it is. You can say however you want to call about me. It really doesn't matter. But that looks like Mexicans. And if that is, that's scary. To know that they're illegally growing weed in our backyard, taking up our spaces where we can be giving American citizens jobs. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go there. American citizens jobs. I want to give you a job. Not like me give you a job, but I want them opportunities for us to get a job because I got so many friends that want to get in this industry that can't wait for that door open and wait for that opportunity. Just like I can't wait for opportunity for somebody to see that, yes, I am doing something that's probably frowned upon, that's never been done in the marijuana industry. I'm literally talking about political and marijuana news. I'm giving it to you raw and uncut. Like, boom, I'm discussing about it. I'm not bringing no script. I'm not putting no script together. I'm not like, let me think. No, I'm going to bring you to, while I'm off air, I'm going to be looking up news. I'm going to be putting videos aside so I can share. Yes. Yes. But when I bring you this, I ain't got no script. This is here to take notes. But notes like this is too easy for me not to forget.
With large criminal organizations setting up shop in rural Oklahoma.
Officials discovered Chinese nationals at the facility they believe were trafficked there to work and pay off debts. Up to 4 arrests were made in connection to the bust, according to Dodd, in the international drug trafficking operation. The property is listed online through the platform Bid for Assets. The starting bid, just over $755,000.
Taking the asset away from them and instead liquidating it and using the proceeds to support and help to better law enforcement initiatives is a great step in the right direction.
Dodd tells us 25% of the proceeds from the sale will go to the district attorney's office, with the rest going to drug-related law enforcement efforts at the sheriff's office. And the auction company president tells...
Okay. Even now I'm finna have to rewind and make sure I heard this correctly. Because are we talking about the illegal stuff that y'all seized? Y'all finna give it to legal people, legal industries for them to distribute? And are these where the taxpayers' money and tax dispensary money is going? Yet again, these are the things I want to tackle if I'm finna get into this marijuana news and be looking for answers. This is something that we need to explode. Now, these reporters are doing good, but when they report on them, they're not specifically be saying, is it the tax money or is it just all the tax money? Like, what is, or like in this situation, is it the illegal weed that they're seizing, or is it the illegal that you're gonna give it to? You see what I'm saying? If people, am I losing y'all? Basic. Let me break it. I'm gonna break it down one more time to make sure that y'all get me and I don't lose nobody who gets to this point. They found illegal marijuana, but they're gonna give a percentage in proceeds that they donate to law enforcement's and other stuff. See, yeah, I'm gonna rewind it just to make sure I heard that correctly. Okay. Jones County, okay. Okay. So they're gonna bid off the acres or the marijuana? That's another question. What are you actually bidding off? And like you said, they're at 15,000 and whatever, and we're current bid at 7,000, and the proceeds gonna go to the sheriff department. 22 days later than previewed. Number of bids 0. But if you do bid, you got to start off at 15,000. Okay. I just want to make sure we heard this
National
correctly.
drug trafficking operation. The property is listed online through the platform Bid for Assets. The starting bid, just over $755,000.
Taking the asset away from them and instead liquidating it and using the proceeds to support and help to better law enforcement initiatives is a
I'm actually for this. That now that I heard it clearly, my dog done mess with it. Now that I heard them clearly, I'm for this. So basically, they're gonna sell the property, and you gotta have at least 750,000. Let me see if I can find where we left off at. This is what happens when you have a dog sniffing around. I was trying to actually go to the graphic. There we go. So basically, they're going to take this acre and sell it to hopefully a marijuana industry where they can take it and already be set up and ready for them to do what they have to do. You know, hey, it's already ready for you to go, but you at least got to come up with 755,000. You know what I'm saying? Because it is already ready. Probably got weed there and stuff like that. That's gonna, and since it was illegal, okay, I'm with this. This makes sense. This is bringing illegal money that has nothing to do with America, which they were taking across seas and put it back. I'm with this. I'm for
Bid
this.
for Assets.
This
the starting bid,
is helpful.
Just over $755,000.
taking the asset away from them and instead liquidating it and using the proceeds to support and help to better law enforcement initiatives is a great step in the right direction.
Dodd tells us 25% of the proceeds from the sale will go to the district attorney's office, with the rest going to drug-related law enforcement efforts at the sheriff's office. And the auction company president tells me they are in talks with a couple other counties here in Oklahoma to expand this initiative. Reporting in Johnston County, Tom Ferguson, Fox 25 News.
Crime was a concern during the push.
The Oklahoma, Oklahoma is no joke. They out here tripping. They out here getting it in. Don't care long roads because they got long roads, tall trees. You can't see back off in the cut. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make me a dirt road. I got 10, 12, 30 acres of land and ain't nobody looking and booking. Ain't nobody shooking and jooking. That's what's going on out there, man. But these crimes like this, and if there are spread it out in other states, which, you know, unfortunately there probably are. And like, we're not gonna play stupid and say there's not. That's one thing we're not gonna do. But sheesh. Shout out to whoever put this story together. For me, I appreciate it. That's another thing I need to start doing, shouting out these people that I get these stories from, because they be working hard to put these stories together. And I'm out here spreading these stories so people can see what be going on and around the states with the marijuana. Some of this stuff is a little outrageous. This is what our parents were like, this is why I didn't vote to legalize marijuana when I was coming up. You see what you are doing? You're ruining.
To legalize recreational marijuana. Cleveland County District Attorney Greg Mashburn spoke out against State Question 820, saying medical marijuana had already brought major crime to rural parts of the state, including the execution-style killings near Hennessy. State Question 820 failed.
Jesus. No. Okay. Now this is, I'm going to say it just like she just said. Okay, check this out. Maybe all states don't need to go recreational. No. That is blatantly true. If your crime, and I feel like if you go recreational and your crime rate just go through the roof when you got stories like this that's up on the board, and there we go, I'm sorry. When you got stuff like this up on the board, yeah, you might not want to be, I don't know. I don't think you should be recreational until you get your shit together. Get your law enforcement up. Hate to say it, I'm just keeping it real.
In March, with 62% of people voting against it. Well, state leaders and law enforcement are still struggling to weed out bad actors as Oklahoma's marijuana industry continues to grow.
Fox 25's Peyton Mate breaking down where marijuana legislation stands now and some of those efforts to crack down on crime.
A handful of bills regulating the marijuana industry were passed this session, putting caps on licenses, cracking down on taxes, and opening the door for more enforcement. But even with all of that becoming law, some Oklahoma leaders are concerned that isn't enough.
We've not taken the right approach on this, and we've played politics with people's lives.
Representative Scott Fettgetter has been on the forefront of tackling cannabis regulation since State Question 788 legalizing medical marijuana was passed. But since grows have popped up across Oklahoma, state leaders say foreign entities are moving in and taking advantage of the system.
And we've allowed organized criminal organizations to come into our state, do straw man business operations, and grow thousands upon thousands of pounds of marijuana and export all over the country.
That is a major problem. How many states is this probably happening in that are big and full of trees and people can't see and back off in the cut? This is going to be what you call the downfall towards marijuana, and it's already happening. And some people like, it's happening in the beginning, man. We didn't even get legalized in all 50 states. Stuff like this, reports like this, me reporting it, even me reporting it, because it's already reported in news. So quit playing it, talking about it in the house. They see it. I'm just keeping it real. Stuff like this is going to be detrimental to our growth in the industry. It's still going to grow because, you still got states like here in Nevada, but come on, man. This is big as hell if you had to knock it down and shut it down because it was illegally grown. That's too damn big to be illegally grown. I'm just going to keep it real.
It's a multi-million-dollar industry lawmakers in both chambers have tried to regulate. And
some nice buds. Oh, gee, yeah.
it's a multi-million-dollar industry lawmakers in.
Look at that. No, that mother, fat boy. That's fat. That's a fat bud. Y'all tripping, ladies and gentlemen. If you're missing it, you're missing it. Whoever the cameraman on here worked for this news company, he know how to work the camera. I'm just gonna keep it real. He went for he like, man, I want to take a picture of that bud right there. He got nice and close. Look how fat that motherfucker is. I know anybody that watched this right now gonna be like, man, that was beautiful. Please put down in the comments how beautiful that bud looks when you got to this part of the show. And you looked at it and you was like, man, that's beautiful. That cameraman was awesome. That man was doing his job right there, boy.
Both chambers have tried to regulate, and because the Oklahoma Bureau...
Damn. See, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna say it again. You can't grow no good unless you grow here in America. Look at that fire here in America. Now, I'm not knocking no other states from Maine to California to Oklahoma to Florida to Washington. But damn, I know we grow some of the best weed, bro. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. I know. Now, don't get it twisted. And I wanted to say this yesterday and I didn't say it, so I'm going to say it now. I do understand that growers here go out to other countries and we teach other people and everybody learn how to grow and stuff like that. Don't get it twisted. Like, there's some beautiful growers in other countries. Beautiful growers in other countries. Don't get it twisted. But when it comes to a lot of people that are growing that fire and a lot that's on it, been on it, doing it, getting extra supplies and learning about the terpenes and investing into the terpenes and making it more potent. So you get that more crystallization on it. Oh, yeah. Don't think I don't know about my silicones. And yeah. And then you clone it. So you make another one that looks just like it. This is what y'all want. Yeah, man. I know y'all like, yeah, Capiche. That's the guy I was looking for. That was in that marijuana industry. Look at that. That bud looks great. I sound like Tony the Tiger. But it's not going to be that great if we let other countries seep across our borders and take over. Doing this. That's frowned upon. That makes us look bad. Do you think a state wants to legalize something when they letting this known that this is happening? No, they're not. They're going to slow the process for you to get recreational. Oklahoma, for sure, is not going to be recreational no time soon. They have a bad trafficking of marijuana problem. I can just imagine how many other states we finna find out that's having the same problem. This is not looking good. Let's get more into this story so we can get more. It's almost over.
of Narcotics estimates half of the nearly 6,300 grow operations are illegal. Even the Attorney General is stepping in.
You know, the Attorney General has decided that his office is going to get into this fight on the illegal stuff, and that's going to be a big help. OB&DD is going to do what OB&DD has continually done, which is shut down very large criminal organizations in the state of Oklahoma. OMMA is also now taking more of a law enforcement stance on it.
Senator Jessica Garvin is adamant investing in enforcement can curb most of the criminal activity.
For county officials across the state, it's a problem because they don't have the resources to properly enforce what's going on in the marijuana industry.
With warehouse after warehouse of illegal drug busts, Senator Garvin isn't giving up.
It's been a rough road for sure, but I think we're making strides to getting it under control.
Some of the medical marijuana laws passed this session go into effect by the end of the year, but Representative Feckgetter tells me he thinks it will take the industry years to stabilize. Reporting Peyton May, Fox 25 News.
And that was your big story breakdown. You can find more about that legislation and the efforts to combat.
Man, that was beautiful. And sad at the same time. Oklahoma need to get their shit together, or they fuck it up for themselves. And they go not to having no weed at all. For real, so serious. Ladies and gentlemen, I know everybody over the news done heard about the shooting that went down. But, you know, I don't like covering stuff like that without any type of facts or things that's going on.
Local police department in Jacksonville said that this shooter wanted to kill black people and his firearms were covered in these disgusting symbols. That's all we know for now, and it's just such a terrible tragedy, and it just further proves that we need to combat the racism that still exists in America, and we need to tackle the extremism that is fueling a lot of these attacks. And the truth is, we need more gun control. The fact that someone like this was able to get an AR-style rifle and a handgun and then use that to take the lives of other Americans is absolutely disgusting. And remember, Republicans in Florida, like Governor Ron DeSantis, have weakened gun control laws in the state. For example, DeSantis signed a law in April that allows for permitless concealed carry. Like, what? It's just such a terrible tragedy. My thoughts go out to the victims and their families. I'm just so sorry.
Meanwhile,
well, we have to stop people that have bad intentions. Guns, the story is always about guns. People are bad. This guy's a bad guy. If I could take my gun off right now and I lay it on this counter, nothing will happen. It'll sit there.
All right, guys. So once again, we got to talk about the mass shooting that took place in Jacksonville, Florida, where you had an individual who happened to be white, decided to commit a heinous act by killing and shooting 3 black people at a Dollar General. Now, clearly this person is an evil person. He's a bad person. But the mainstream liberal media wants to focus more on this aspect of the gun, okay, and racism, more so than focus on the fact that, hey, maybe, just maybe, this person was a bad person, and maybe he also has some issues upstairs as well, too. No. They don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about how to continue to divide this country racially and taking away guns. And this was essentially the line of questioning that came from 2 liberal reporters that asked the Jacksonville sheriff, TK Waters, about this incident, and he wasn't having any of it. He smacked down the anti-gun and race-baiting talk from these reporters almost immediately. Take a look.
We're doing so much to try to determine what exactly led to this. The manifesto is quite frankly, the diary of a madman. He was just completely irrational. But with his irrational thoughts, he knew what he was doing. He was 100% lucid. He knew what he was doing. And again, it's disappointing that anyone would go to these lengths to hurt someone else.
Sheriff, could you explain, are there any details as to why he was Baker active back in 2017 and were his guns taken at the time?
No, he didn't have the guns back in 2017. He was only 15 at the time. There was no flag that could have come up to stop him from purchasing those guns. As a matter of fact, it looks as if he purchased those guns completely legally, and all the FFLs did what they were supposed to have done to make sure that there were no issues. So therein lies the difficulty. When a person grabs a hold of a gun with hateful intentions, it's very difficult to stop that from happening.
Sure.
I just want to make sure I have this all in one place in terms of sound here. Can you just tell us, clarify, where did those firearms come from? Were they legal guns and were they legally possessed?
They were 100% legal, and as I stand here with you today, they were legally possessed. There was nothing indicating, again, like I said, it appears that the dealers that sold those guns to him did it legally. They did what they were supposed to have done. One was Wild West Guns. What was the other one?
One was Wild West Guns and the other was Orange Park Gun and Pawn.
So it appears they did everything that they were supposed to do as a gun dealer. There was nothing indicating that he should not own guns.
So then standing here on the other side of this podium, he possessed these guns legally. We know what he did with them. What could have been done? What should have been done?
Well, we have to stop people that have bad intentions. Guns, the story is always about guns. People are bad. This guy's a bad guy. If I could take my gun off right now and I lay it on this counter, nothing will happen. It'll sit there. But as soon as a wicked person grabs a hold of that handgun and starts shooting people with it, there's the problem. The problem is the individual. Now, guns are a tool that people use to do horrible things, but it's the individuals that wield these things. So we are working hard to try to stop that. But in this situation, in this case, there was nothing illegal about him owning the firearms.
Sheriff, given the history of this shooting, are you worried this might have implications for the community of a racial divide here locally or even nationwide?
I don't think so. I don't think there's a racial divide in our city. And actually, I work along with some of the best people in the entire world. And it doesn't matter what color they are or what they look like. We are banded together as a community to fight these issues. And I don't think there's a racial issue. I know there are racial issues with some people. But as a whole, we are all standing here together because we're concerned about the same thing.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, apparently, this same sheriff did an interview with Jim Acosta of CNN, and he basically said the same thing. And I tried really, really, really hard. I spent like at least an hour looking for that footage from CNN News of him essentially trying to shoot down Jim Acosta's questions about guns and race baiting, but I couldn't find it, right? I couldn't find it. But again, we do have clips here of him essentially saying that, hey, guns are not the problem. People are the problem. Bad people are the problem, okay? Because what the liberal media tries to do, you guys should have picked up on a line of questioning that he was getting, in the sense that they were clearly and obviously trying to get at this idea that some type of gun restriction or more gun laws in some way would have stopped this person from committing this mass shooting. However, the sheriff made it clear that, hey, there's nothing that could have been done to prevent him from getting this gun. I mean, he went through all the legal methods to get the gun. Okay, so stricter background check would not have worked. All the other things that the left proposes outside of just flat out banning guns, which is what they want to do, right? None of that would have prevented him from getting a gun. Okay, and even if you ban guns, considering how bad guys know how to get guns and they don't care about laws, I'm not sure if that would have prevented him from getting a gun either. Okay, but again, that's not what the mainstream liberal media wants to hear. What they want to hear is that, hey, there's some law that could have been applied. There's something that could have been done to prevent him from getting a gun in the first place, instead of dealing with the fact that, again, this person is simply a bad person, okay? And bad people commit bad acts, okay? They go out and they harm people and they kill people, and a gun is...
Facts. Ladies and gentlemen, I ain't gonna hold y'all, but it's been interesting. Like I said, we're gonna get into this. We're gonna do more news. I'm gonna find more marijuana news to do with y'all. I'm gonna do political news when it comes up, especially if it's important, like the shooting. I didn't get deep up into the shooting because it just happened. I was gonna wait more until tomorrow where more report came out. I just want to put that out there because I seen that, and it was more about the sheriff. Okay, so I thought that was important to talk about because it was the sheriff. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, like I said, this is Burn Live. We marijuana, keep y'all connected. We're hashtagging these red eyes, keeping underage smoking off social media. I want to thank y'all for tuning in with me today. to, whenever you're watching this. I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all hitting that like button, subscribe button if you can. Helping the channel grow, helping us learn more, helping us do what we got to do to become better people in the United States of America. I love you guys to death. I appreciate everything you do. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good night. Peace.